beat everybody.
The Ravens are probably going to win. They have one of the best offenses in history right now.
Lamar Jackson is a more explosive.
I think Baltimore pulls it out.
Nothing to work with. Pile driven by the rookie. Goedert, tiptoes, touchdown, Philadelphia. Touchdown!
This is a big win for this team.
Yes, it is.
What's up? Let's go. That just gets me fired up again. It's like every time they want to make a hype video, I'm totally okay with that. How's everybody doing? Hit the like button. Appreciate that. I'm feeling really good, obviously, with the Ravens game coming off of it. We can get into all the talk there. Seeing everybody in the chat. Yes, the comments for Jalen Hurts getting hate. Eagles getting some of their due, some of the respect, but maybe not so much of everything. But, yeah, shout out to the social team for the hype video. Had to, of course, use that. So, how's everyone doing, as Tyler Wallace throws that out there? How's everyone doing this fine Tuesday? We had the Victory Monday, the terrific Tuesday. I'm doing well. Very blessed. We had Jalyx Hunt on, obviously. I should mention that also. Let me put the QR code. There's a pinned comment up here already, but you can donate to support Philly high school basketball teams. If you did not see that, go back to the last video that I dropped. Thomas and I got to have Jalyx Hunt on for several different questions, but we are partnering for Philly-based high school basketball teams. There's the GoFundMe. The link is in the description. Like I said, also in the comments. So if you can give anything, I mean, seriously, $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever you want to give. You give anything, it helps out a ton. Goal, obviously, of 10,000. If it's any more than that, it's just going to cover extra high schools and extra basketball teams. So Jalyx will be the one delivering it. Terrific guy. I mean, as advertised, not a huge surprise, but it was even better. So thank you. I'm seeing those comments as well for the interview going well. It was awesome. We had a good time, a lot of laughing. I had to ask about Big Pimpin'. I mean, come on, like that was the comment of the draft, the moment of the draft. I mean, really, it got a whole lot of play back then, but it was like, all right, if you have Jalyx Hunt in an interview, you got to at least bring it up. So I appreciated that. Also, he recognized the Jalen Carter Breadman shirt, so that was pretty dope. Of course, it's not mine. I did get a lot of comments on that. It's not my shirt. Go to Jalen Carter's Instagram. If you don't have it, just search it. Just search Jalen Carter Breadman shirt. It'll pop up. I promise you. Search for his site. But kudos to JC for the shirt there. I'm glad that Jalyx even recognized it. Still, either way, really cool moment. We donated, Thomas and I did separately as well for the Jalyx Hunt Empowering Philly Athletes. And like I say, you can also scan the QR code. That one works as well. Let's jump into, got a lot to get into, as I said, but let's jump into the beginning news. Officially, the Eagles making moves. Starting with, appreciate that. Thank you, yes, for the interview. Starting with them signing a fullback. Khari Blasingame. Yes, I know. Everyone's very much up to date, I'm sure, on who that is, what he brings to the table, everything else. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to find a decent amount of clips, any sort of mic'd up interviews. There's not a whole lot. I will just say that. So it's not like he has not had any sort of career at all. So I'll try to put the clip up here. There you go. There's a catch out of the backfield. Got a little speed. Racing. This is preseason game, by the way. But, back whenever he was with the Titans there. A little speed. Doesn't hurt necessarily. But, it's not one of those that we're asking him to do a ton in terms of the pass catching, running the football even. It's just, can he block? And can he play special teams? So technically he can. And I think that this tells a little bit more of like who, yes, Douglas, we signed a fullback. I know it's surprising. but we did. We signed a fullback. I don't know when the last time was that the Eagles signed a legit full-blown, like, just fullback, because usually it would be, like a hybrid, right? So like a Ben Van Sumeren just lucked into that. You had the linebacker. He played fullback in college. He had some history of that. So fine, you know what? It works out. But I think it's telling of this offense plans on using a fullback more than what we've seen. Like, they've already used it a lot. But they're looking at this going, you know what? We don't have Ben Van Sumeren for the rest of the year, so we're going to have to compensate for that. Now, who do we go after? You make a decision to, and I'll put the official Eagles tweet up here as well, just for people that are curious or wondering if it is official. But here's the Eagles news on that side. So here's their tweet. Practice squad, we've signed, there we go. We've signed fullback Khari Blasingame and have released wide receiver John Ross. So, it's officially official. There's the Twitter post. Ant-Man in the house. There we go. I knew that he would have some of this info, and I didn't check on Twitter beforehand because I'm sure that it's already been posted there. But the man himself, Anthony DeBona, you should be following if you're not already because you probably already have this info. At DeBona NFL, says the first real fullback since 2016 for the practice squad. Oh my gosh, 2016. Last real fullback on the active roster was 2012. It has been a while. It's been a minute since we have had a fullback on the practice squad, let alone on the active roster. Yes, I'm seeing some of those comments there. It's been a while. We've had some good fullbacks. It's just been a long time. But I like it. I mean, you got some versatility. It's also for the special teams. I do understand that. I mean, in his career, he's played 687 offensive snaps, and he's played 860 special team snaps. So you do get the part where Ben Van Sumeren, again, a special teams, I'd say a special teams ace. I mean, he's playing well. So you try to add to that, naturally, with some of these injuries. But I think also it goes down to the fact that it probably tells a little bit more about Dallas Goedert. It probably suggests, because it's seeming like he's going to go on the IR, but if he goes to the short-term IR for the knee injury, not season-ending, but short-term, then you don't want Grant Calcaterra being your fullback. I mean, no offense to him, but for one, do we want him to block consecutively as a fullback? Plus, you don't really want him to get in that position because if he gets injured, you're already thin at tight end anyway. And while we've got Anthony's comment up here, we might as well go ahead and throw it out there. But he was saying that we should have taken a tight end, potentially taken a tight end in this last draft. It'd be nice. There you go. Leonard Weaver in 2010, Owen Schmidt 2010 to 2011, and Stanley Havili 2011 to 2012. But, we'll have... I know, Sean, Calcaterra doesn't block well at all. Fanny, Calcaterra is not a Swiss Army knife. No, he's not. We're not asking him to play special teams. We're really not asking him to play fullback. Although he made a couple decent blocks. I won't say great, but he made a couple decent blocks. If you go back and look when the Eagles were in I formation, when they had a fullback, Grant Calcaterra was the makeshift role there. But yes, long-term, he's not the option. So sure, get Blasingame. If you have a chance to potentially elevate him, you get 3 elevations anyway, so might as well get a shot. And then, you go figure. But like I said, I think it tells me or suggests that Dallas Goedert will go to the IR. Calcaterra will strictly be your tight end. You don't want him to be the fullback. And then potentially we see Khari Blasingame, get some reps being activated, being elevated for some games. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. But there you go. That's the official. Yes. I knew that somebody was going to call that out. He also made at least one terrible block that I remember. I know that he did. I'm not saying he did not. You're correct, sir. He certainly did. Let's see. Blocking. Caleb says Calc's been blocking much better this year than last and is graded out as such. That's fair, but when you were so low to begin with, it's not necessarily like we would say it's good. You're right. It's better. It's not good. Tyler, I saw that. You were scoring ridiculous amount of points, and I don't know how you missed the playoffs, but you did. Unfortunately. I apologize. Kind of. I made the playoffs in one of them. I did not in the other one. So, at least one of two. But that's how it is. I've actually got another league, not the one that we were doing, but I've got another league that I'm in the similar boat. Most points by a mile, and I might miss the playoffs. So, I don't know. That's why one of those, it feels like you got to just do it where 2 or 3 weeks out of the year, you just take whoever has the most points. You automatically give half the teams a win, half the teams a loss. I don't know. We're getting off on a tangent, though, obviously. But, again, I will say, the fact that this move here, we've already seen. The Eagles are a run-first football team. They're, without a doubt, going to continue to run with Saquon Barkley. And you know what? Hey, kudos to the Birds for running the football and being able to dominate with Saquon Barkley. Anthony had kind of suggested, I was like, hey, do you think that Jalen Hurts is going to pass? Do you feel like, with the Baltimore run defense being the number one in the league, do we see them shift, take advantage of the fact that Baltimore has not had a good pass defense? And he kind of threw out there saying, well, maybe, but at the same time, we've also seen this in the past where the Eagles still just assert their dominance and then it doesn't matter, which is kind of what we saw. Jalen Hurts, 118 passing yards, not great. He's going to get knocked, or he has gotten knocked for it. But the ridiculous part is like, look, he's doing whatever it takes to win. And this is a run-first football team. And obviously, all of us supporting the Eagles fans, I think that we understand that, but the national media takes a look at the box score or even potentially watches the game and goes, yeah, but, if the Eagles ever need to throw the football, if they ever get into a shootout, will Jalen Hurts be able to win them a football game? It's like, okay, hello, do we need to go back and look up tape? Have we already forgotten about the Super Bowl tape of what Jalen Hurts did when the Eagles were not running the football, when they could not run the football well? I don't know. It's never ending. It's not a surprise. It's just one of those that's a little bit frustrating because you're like, but I will say this. I would prefer to fly under the radar. It is frustrating because I'd love for them to go ahead and say, oh, yeah, hey, you know what, Philly, they dominated. They proved it. Because no one's going to give us credit for Cincinnati, for Washington. Even, heck, you play Green Bay early in the season. No, it's in Brazil. Just write that off. Finally, something. But, life is good, said dude actually said Derrick Henry is more explosive than Saquon. Who was that? I remember seeing that comment come up. I think it was on, where was that? I'm drawing a blank now where that was. I did see someone posting that. Fanny, it's Sack John, or Billboard Baun, as Jalyx made sure to share with us in the interview earlier, which is pretty cool. Billboard Baun. It's. I mean, again, shout out to Jalyx. I mean, what an incredible interview. So down to earth. It's always, you never know for sure what you're gonna get in an interview, but it didn't take long before he was like himself, relaxed. You could tell in the interview we were joking around, but then he had to get some extra info of like, all right, some nicknames there. What do people refer to Zack Baun? Because we have a million of those, and it sounds like Billboard Baun is kind of the go-to within the team. Jay says, "Make fullbacks great again." That's kind of what Kellen Moore is in the process of doing. Of what this Eagles offense and Kellen Moore is doing. The fact that the players came together. They stood up, especially the O-line, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Mekhi Becton. Man, I know that all the other guys need to get their credit, but Mekhi Becton, he's had a little bit of flaws within the pass protection. Run blocking has been, unreal. And kudos to Brian Baldinger, who had said at the beginning of the season, even before the season started, saying Mekhi Becton is their best run blocker. And I'm like, all right, I'll take his word for that. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, seriously, there's some good run blockers on this team. We haven't seen him yet at the right guard. Warriors Rage says, no, Billboard Baun had already been out there. Let's see. Out there, it came from them driving into work and seeing Baun's face on a billboard. Well, that's true, but I'm just saying I didn't know. It didn't feel like there was a immediate go-to for what the guys were calling Zack Baun. So At least from Jalyx, we got it official. Yeah, Jordan Davis was insane. We could just go down the list. Like, there's so many different guys from that Baltimore game that deserve a ridiculous amount of praise. JD is one of those that has not gotten enough comments or not gotten enough praise from it. So that's true, for sure. Jason Blessing, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to have you here. I will also say, Braden Mann is another one. Frank from Philly, what's up, dude? See that? Braden Mann is one of those that does not either because, who's going to talk about a punter, right? But a punter that, 6 punts, over 50 yards average, 5 of 6 inside the 20. You won't say MVP, obviously. Like, no one's going to go to that far. But maybe perhaps of the level of an unsung hero. The punt that he was doing combined with the gunners of Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo, the way that they were able to get down there quickly. Heck yeah. Let's see. Tamika, didn't we miss field goals and still won the game? Not Baltimore. Justin Tucker was missing field goals. I kind of feel for the guy. Almost. Not really. But yeah, dude's got the yips. A little bit washed. But it's still, because again, we go back to, do the Eagles get their credit? No, they do not. It's kind of what it is. Everybody says, well, if the field goal kicker's been making kicks, if Justin Tucker had been making the kicks, the Baltimore Ravens would have won. Because, sure, like, they score a meaningless touchdown with 3 seconds remaining. Francisco, what's up? Appreciate that. All the way from Guam. Let's go. Go Birds. Yes, no misses by us, as John said as well. Maxwell, Jalen needs to get custom cleats with different design on each shoe. Yeah, so he could be the Jalen 2 shoes. Quentin, no, just the news, the roster move of we signed a fullback to the practice squad. It's not happened in a long time. Anthony DeBona, it's in 2016. Appreciate that little tidbit. I knew it had been a while. 2016 to practice squad, 2012 since we've had an active roster fullback. And it would be a little surprising if he made it to the active roster, but since you do have the 3 elevations, like I was saying, sign to the practice squad, use him for a couple games. Maybe if it works out, the fact that you're without BVS, I would be curious. That honestly, I would say this stretch here, you use him against Carolina, use him against Pittsburgh, use him against, Washington after that, I believe. If it's me, I would elevate him 3 straight games or give him a week to get acclimated, right? Then use him 3 games, see where you're at, and then if he's working out well and the run game is benefiting from it because you have an actual legit fullback there, then I would not be opposed to signing him to the roster. Make a playoff push. Look, this team is built the right way to make a run. I think we all understand that, but cold weather game potentially, especially if you get the 1 seed, cold weather, number 1 defense in the NFL and number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. Like before the season, I did not expect to say that. Although I do love, because a lot of the Cowboys friends that I have are, commenting saying like, "Oh, just wait. You're gonna hate Kellen Moore. He's not gonna run the football. You guys just got Saquon Barkley. Oh yeah, well that's not gonna work out. He's gonna throw it too much. You're gonna hate it. He's gonna go away from it. You're gonna be like, why are we not doing that? We run the football well." Kudos to Kellen because he's actually made a lot of better sticking with the run. Again, there was a little bit, maybe early on, some growing pains and figure things out, but being willing to adjust and seeing what this roster has. So I will say that. Quentin, kind of surprised we didn't let Axeman try filling in for Ben, get him some action. Yeah, that's true. Be interesting, but J.C. Kirk, what a dope name, Blasingame. All right, let's see. I thought I missed one of those comments. Maybe not. Yes, a couple people. Okay, a couple more. I'm sure we're going to keep getting this. Josh says Cowboys friends get better friends. Well, it's kind of like friends and family. So I guess it's fair. We've all, I would have bet, I'd be willing to bet, we've all got, even if you go to the level, maybe say acquaintances, Cowboys acquaintances, and probably Giants ones as well, and Commanders also. But yes, Khari Blasingame, fullback, is who we signed. Fullback to the roster. Got him officially. Yeah, B7 32 jersey. That's good. We was using tight ends as fullbacks. Yes. Pat, I appreciate that. Maybe so, because it will probably get a lot of comments here, so works for me. I will bring this up also. There was an article here, and I know you could go and I try not to get carried away with like where things are at in terms of power rankings, because it's going to get you worked up if you do. However, I'm guilty of it, and ESPN released their power rankings. I'm sure that some of you guys had seen this. Let me see if I can get this on the screen also so that others can take a glance. Here we go. So this is ESPN's power rankings. If I can zoom out just a bit. There we go. So ESPN power rankings. Detroit, number 1. They were number 1 last week. They barely beat Chicago. They're still number 1. Now, I'm not totally against that. That's fine. They really want to keep them at number 1. Like I said, I would be fine with just flying under the radar. Keep them as the best NFC team, the thought to be best NFC team. Let them believe that. Stay hungry. Whatever. They still won. That's fine. Buffalo beat the Niners. Cool. It's a good win. Sure. I did say, if I had to predict as of last week, and still probably as of this week, if I had to predict for the Super Bowl, I would say probably the Bills and the Eagles. So, all right, fine. I understand moving them up in the ranking, but the part that I have a little bit more of an issue with is, okay, so Kansas City was 2, moved down to 3. They beat the Raiders 19-17. They should not have beat the Raiders. They are lucking out. They are doing, it seems like they're doing just about what we were doing last year. Not quite as bad, right? But it does feel like if they were to play a really good team, you just wonder at this point. Now, I know that they won early in the season against Baltimore. They've had injuries. It has definitely impacted them. But to me, I'm like, they are not the third best team. They're power rankings wise, they should not be ahead of Philly. Again, maybe it's better to be flying under the radar. But it's ridiculous whenever you go down here and you see, okay, so the Eagles are 4th, yet last week we were 3rd. You're telling me in the power rankings, if the Eagles were 3rd and we went on the road, beat Baltimore, who everyone said we were not going to beat. I mean, just about every single analyst had them. And then you win in convincing fashion if no one watched the game, which makes you question. Perhaps whoever did this ranking, it didn't give an individual. Tim McManus has the write-up here, but it was kind of compiled by like a lot of ESPN people. So I'm not going to just totally throw it on Tim McManus. I think there's multiple people there. But if they did not watch the game, then maybe they're like, oh, well, 24-19, it was a close game, Baltimore. But they still won, even if that was the case. But it wasn't. It was, we all know, it was 24-12. The game was over. Yet, I don't know, you can see that it's a little bit working me up. I'm just saying, it feels like at worst case scenario, you go on the road, you beat a guy who's 23-1 against the NFC, Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, your defense shuts him out, best offense in the league, you hold even with the garbage touchdown under 20 points. But no, it's enough to actually lower you in the power rankings. So, cool. 4th in the league. This is not the only rankings. I've seen others that have better, but I just, it popped up because of ESPN and then it gets clicked. So maybe that was the purpose as well. Oh, let's shift Philly down. We're going to get people to take a look at it. I don't know. Scott says ranks him last, please. Joke sauce, that's fair. That is a good point. The only power rankings I trust is Tom Grossi. That I could do with that. I could appreciate it. Fair enough. Tamika, the Eagles are better than the Lions. Josh says Vegas odds to win the Super Bowl are the real power rankings. That's also fair. Yes. Underdogs are hungry dogs per Jason Kelsey. We're the Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL. The Caribbean Cruise have the Eagles to beat the Bills in the Super Bowl plus 3,000. Let's go. That's a pretty payout. How much did you take that for? I'm curious. What's the official payout? I know it's plus 3,000. I'm curious what you got risking on that one. Not Luke. Would love that helmet, bro. All right. I'm just saying. There's an opportunity. As soon as the channel gets to 90,000 subs, I'm going to give it away to a random subscriber. And people of the live, I'll just point this out. People of the live stream, you're going to have a much better opportunity. We're going to give like double entries for that. So, just floating that one out there. Stay tuned. Yeah, see, Boca says, nah, my guy, we're top 2 at least. Top 2 and not 2, or even top 2 is fine. I would live with that. Right. John says depleted Niners team. Joel, schedule-wise, compared to Detroit, we're looking good to lock up the number 1 seed. I agree. There's a lot of optimism. Let's see. Sess, how can I send you a Jalen rookie card? Heck yeah. If you want to send me one, that'd be great. I will gladly. There's a link. I'm sorry, not a link. There's details down in the description. I think it says send me stuff. I didn't know what else to title it, but it says send me stuff. And that's the P.O. box. So, or the details to the UPS. So I'm assuming that was for me. I saw a comment there. 50 to win 1550. Jeez. Okay, I might have to. Tyler brings up a good point about Grossi. When the Packers are good, you can't trust him. He is a legend, though, but you're right. There's a little favoritism, perhaps. AJ Jones, appreciate the 5-man. Said, we are flying high, no lie. You know this. There you go. I like that. Philly, is it too early to talk about the potential of the Panthers being a trap game? It's interesting you bring that up. I was potentially going to mention that or talk about it a little bit more in the game recap, or sorry, the game preview video that'll probably drop on Saturday. But I wouldn't say so. Not necessarily. Carolina's been playing better. Bryce Young has been much better since returning and gaining some momentum and everything else. I could potentially see that, yeah. But especially, it doesn't feel like as much of like this team looking ahead and going, oh, hey, we're going to play Pittsburgh and, this one should be an automatic win. Although as fans, I think we would look at it and say, yes, it should be a win. You should take care of business against Carolina. They are better. They're not better than they're playing better. But it's not in the sense of something would have to go significantly wrong or you don't show up prepared. But man, the vibes of this team are unreal. And I say it every single week, but if you didn't catch Nick Sirianni's, and I wish I had it actually saved, I would have played it here. But if you didn't catch Nick Sirianni's end of game speech to the team and kind of recommending or talking about practicing, the guys are fired up. It's not like, we're not one of, they're ready. They're focused. They're engaged. They're wanting to be there. They're wanting to put in the work. The reason that they are so physical is because they're practicing and they know that. So I think that they can all sense it, that something special is building or something special is already here. And it's like, you know what? Let's keep doing this thing. Want to know every week. I know it's kind of, it's old. It's boring. It's overused. It's a cliche. But, I mean, legitimately, want to know every week. I think that they'll be okay. Honestly, I would be curious if, can we please just start a little bit earlier? I'll just say that. Is it possible at all to start and score a touchdown before the other team does? Look, I love the fact that the team is phenomenal at quarter 2 through 4. I mentioned in the video, we are dead last when it comes to efficiency on offense in the first quarter. I mean, it'd be one thing if I said, like, hey, we're 20th in the league, we're 25th in the league. We are dead last in the league in efficiency when we're talking about the first quarter. However, if you go quarter 2 through 4, then the Eagles are second in the league in efficiency. We're one of the best. I mean, you look at the second quarter on, it's complimentary football. The offense is scoring. We all know this because we're living through the game streams. We're living through the games in general. But, yeah, it'd be nice if we could Caribbean cruise. I'm asking too much. Okay, well, then fine. I guess we'll just have to live with that. I also like that comment. Yeah, we practice in Hargrave. Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's see. Is it Elias saying injuries make me a tad unsteady? Okay. No, AJ, you're good, man. I was just saying, like, I was probably going to talk about it in the preview, but that's what these are for. That's what the whole, community feel, getting the guys in here, everybody else. I appreciate y'all. So we cover all of the topics. Real quickly, I was mentioning as far as, like, starting quickly, and Kellen Moore had some thoughts on it. I don't know necessarily how. Let's just say he didn't really have the best answer of how or what, but he is searching for it. So if you didn't see the press conference clip, here you go.
To counter what's happened early in games, have you guys thought about not doing scripted?
We've navigated this thing in a lot of different ways, and so we've talked about it. We'll talk about it again this week as far as just trying to find the best way for us to execute because, LA felt like we had a good drive going, ended up short in the red zone. This past week, obviously, one first down, then kind of got stalled out. And so, it's a frustrating aspect of our thing, and we'll keep working.
I'm not trying to be cute there, too. I understand most coaches will have scripts, but, like, is there more flexibility perhaps you want to build in so that it does counter what a defense may be showing you contrary to what you were thinking? It's definitely something that we've had a lot of discussions about it, just different ways that we can attack the defense, play to our strengths, kind of focus on us and then make the adjustments as the game goes that we need to make. And so, obviously it's something that, we've started slow, unfortunately, for too many games. And so it's something we got to do a better job of.
There you go. Like I said, still kind of searching, open to just about everything as you hear Jeff McClain asking questions of, do you basically just throw out the script? Do you say, even though we normally, and a lot of teams do script this, it's just to say, it's not working. Let's just go based off of feel, right? Like maybe the first play, perhaps, because whatever it is, the scripting does not work in the first quarter. And again, like I say, the absolute worst in the league when it comes to first quarter. But then quarters 2 through 4, which is the adjustment, seeing what the defense is doing, how are they playing you, it's second in the league. So it's a credit, yes, to Kellen to make adjustments. Absolutely to Jalen Hurts out there, because how many times are you seeing him at the line of scrimmage? I mean, when we went hurry up, let's just say that. When we went hurry up, it totally changed the game. Waited until the second quarter to do that, but you had the defense off guard. They were a little bit tired for Baltimore. And it was so many times you get up to the line, then Jalen can slow down, but there's no substitutions, see what the defensive alignment is going to be, and then it's either an audible or adjustment, a lot of runs. But then there was even, the second drive, I believe, in the second quarter that was consecutive throws over the middle of the football field to A.J. Brown. So, again, by the way, for those that want to say Jalen cannot throw over the middle of the field, I mean, he basically marched the team down the field of consecutive just middle of the field throws. So we did see it. Pat Ryan cut the script down to 10 plays and will look better early. Let's see. I bet on it. Okay. Hopefully. Maxwell, the read option was killer against the Ravens. Yeah, as we started to move in that direction, it definitely did. More questions here. I know that, Pat, you're on it, and you've been mentioning a lot of people. Several others have as well, but I'll say it again. Khari Blasingame. Eagles signed a fullback to the roster. If you want to get more insight and input, you can feel free to rewind it. I know we're live right now, but you can watch it back. There you go. First one since 2016. Again, I will say that. 2016, the practice squad. And It's good news because that means Grant Calcaterra is no longer your hybrid tight end / fullback. He is just your tight end. And considering that Dallas Goedert will not be there for probably 4 weeks, we haven't gotten the official to the IR, but that's what I would anticipate. So, Michael, getting to your super chat. Sorry I was late, but just getting to other things. Appreciate the 10 bomb. Let's go. Says Lamar accounts for 1.88 touchdowns a game, 0.64 turnovers a game in games played. Jalen, 1.82 and 0.65 turnovers a game. Yet Jalen was turnover prone and not at the same tier as Lamar, with a question. Yeah. But that's the given. The fact that, the whole stigma around Jalen, I shout out to Craig Hoffman, Washington reporter. Appreciate him, does really good work. But even in that interview, the question was, right, because going into the Commanders game, you had all these national analysts, the national pundits saying, I would take Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is going to be more efficient. He's going to be protecting the football. And what was the immediate thought about Jalen Hurts? It's Jalen Hurts is going to give you one, right? Like, because he will. And you know what? Recent memory up until the bye week was, yes, he would, because he had the consecutive streak, or at least 19 turnovers in 20 games or something ridiculous. So yes, last season we all saw it. It was playing a little bit too much of hero ball. He didn't have good help, offensive scheme, and everything else. So yeah, a lot of times it was on him. But it was a little bit concerning, sure. But that's the issue. That's a problem. Is people see that, and then in their head they just go, no, he's that guy. Like, he's the turnover-prone QB. He's not going to be able to do it. Yet for some reason, then as he adjusts it, and Michael, I appreciate you with the super chat and the extra stats there. It doesn't as quickly shift the narrative. Like, I'm convinced, even if Jalen Hurts goes throughout this rest of the season here and only has 1 or 2 more turnovers, the Eagles go on to win the Super Bowl, Jalen won't get very much credit. He won't. And you know what? Look, Saquon Barkley is at an MVP level. He should win the MVP, but that still should not take away from Jalen Hurts' play and what he's doing for you. Like we said, you don't have to have him as the best quarterback in the league. He doesn't need to be. But people are so hesitant to even put him out there and be like, oh, he's playing really good. It's no, well, he's getting so much help. So it's kind of discredited, right? Like he's got too many weapons. It's like kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Question from Juan says a subscriber, but is it just subbing or... Oh, what is the question for? There you go. To be part of the giveaway. No, giveaway, you just need to be subbed. But I'm going to do that whenever the channel is 90,000 subscribers. So, I also do a giveaway at the end of the month for members. So, I mean, feel free to do that. But yeah, for the helmet giveaways and everything else, for subscribers, also for the Jalyx Hunt signed jersey, he's going to be signing that and giving it away to someone else. I'll do that giveaway Sunday during the game stream. So feel free to swing by during the Carolina game. Probably do that one at halftime, perhaps at the end. Low key, what's up, man? So I just finished watching the interview with Hunt. Good stuff. Appreciate that. Anyway. Let's see here. There was also, I know we mentioned some of the, I'm not sure what's going on in some of those comments. I know we mentioned, obviously, with the offense. I got to mention this, too, with the comment of Jalyx Hunt. So, Vic Fangio talking about Jalyx Hunt. He's played better. We've had a very small or much smaller rotation within the edge. So, prayers, fingers crossed, everyone stays healthy, especially as Bryce Huff is not going to be back yet. Having moved to the IR. It was a 5-man rotation, potentially 6, but kind of 5-man rotation for a while. Then you get some injuries, 4-man rotation, another injury, 3-man rotation for the edge. Hopefully it's okay. Now there's guys, yes, with Charles Harris, you've got opportunities to potentially see some more reps, especially against Carolina if the game gets out of hand. So that part is good, but ultimately, Jalyx Hunt's getting a lot more reps. He's going to continue to. Same thing for Nolan Smith. I mean, heck, Nolan Smith had he was like 58 snaps, if I'm not mistaken. Something that a career high, played incredible, but it's good for progression. I would just say, we keep it up. Low-key, late to the party, who did we add? It was Khari Blasingame, fullback, who I'm sure you're very well aware of. But Khari Blasingame, I had the official numbers here. Let me see if I can find them again. 687 career offensive snaps, 860 special team snaps, and Bears released after he played in just 2 games this season. So, as far as Ben Van Serman being injured, you replace that. You don't ask Grant Calcaterra to continue to be your fullback. So there you go. I appreciate that. Nolan says, or Daniel says Nolan played great. Jacob Sports, what's up? I'm assuming that's Sander. What's up, man? Says, what up, Josh? Nice job with Jalyx Hunt. Thank you. That was awesome. By the way, I think I've mentioned this on the video, and Thomas said it as well, but just in case people were not aware, Jalyx Hunt, again, there's a pinned comment. Feel free to donate to support Philly high school basketball teams. There's also the QR code, which, of course, you can scan. But it was really cool because Jalyx actually reached out to Thomas and I and was like, hey, would love to take advantage, kind of collab with this thing, partner for the raising money, and obviously going to a good cause, but, looking for something around Christmas time. And so there you go. It's going to be up until December 18th. So you've got, a little over 2 weeks. And, we're a little over 15% now for the $10,000 goal. That actually may not be updated. I think I didn't refresh the page, but let's see. Whoa, there we go. 1940. Since we've been on the stream, we've raised over $300. Heck yeah. I know for a fact that there's a decent amount of you guys that contributed to that. So appreciate that. Definitely means a lot. As the dog is barking in the background. Let's see here. I was going to mention, like I said, as far as Jalyx Hunt, though, so in case you missed the Fangio comment about Jalyx and his progression, the fact that he's getting snaps, more snaps, those reps are very important. Here you go. Kind of a funny, good clip.
Some good, some not so good. Now he's at the point where he's got to improve and build on that. It's a process. The more you practice, the more you play, you get better, in spite of what Allen Iverson ever said. Okay? So, and some guys, personnel guys around the league, they think, hey, this guy can do it. Just throw him in, and they expect him the finished product. You never have the finished product with a young player until they get enough practice time and playing time. So the key will be, how does he improve?
Imagine that. Practice makes perfect, or I guess perfect practice makes perfect for those coaches out there. Either way, it's a little bit important. I love that he gave a little bit of the throw a little shade at AI for the practice comment. Why not? Like I said before, the Eagles defense has just they've been insane. But the fact that the holding, let's see, the 3 top teams in terms of scoring, like the top 4 teams, 3 of the top 4 in Cincinnati, Washington, and Baltimore, all 3 of those teams under 20 points. Before the season, I would not have said that. Like I said, there's so many people of that mindset, but that's what they're doing. And it's combined because the defense holding up their end of the bargain, and especially the way that this team can run the football. I mean, these games are flying by. Like, there's how many times during the game stream it was like, oh, well, we're already into the 4th quarter now. It's just the games go by unbelievably fast. So give your defense a break. The only partial struggle is those times where it's like, man, the first quarter, like we said, your defense has to play a decent amount. And then even in the 3rd quarter against Baltimore, the offense had 6 plays. 6 plays for 3 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully a little bit more. Kramer, you're right. The stash continues to go on. Because of that win, the stash, whether my wife wants it or not, is living on. And at this point, I really don't know if I'm going to have to shave until Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl. But then it's like a question of, do we keep it for the party stash, or is it just you shave it after a win? I don't know. But you look at his schedule, and it's hard to say. Also, I did mention this. Speaking of holding teams to low scores, Jalen Carter has been getting ridiculous amounts of he's been held, not holding calls. He's not getting those calls. But there was also a good clip, which I pulled here, for Fangio on JC being held. So here you go.
Jalen's been getting held quite a bit. Is there anything you guys can do to help him get some calls?
I don't know. You got any ideas?
I don't know.
There was one play in particular where he was grossly held and pulled to the ground, and, there was no call. So, yes, and I don't know what we can do about it.
Love the jest. Fangio he's in a better mood. I will say that also. It's continually growing that way, and why wouldn't you be with the way that this defense is playing? But just great to see him enjoying his time. And then lastly here, there was one more clip, just trying something new, by the way, as far as like pulling clips from press conferences, especially not able to get up a full video, but just to keep updated or keep everyone updated. This was Fangio, and again, you can tell that he's enjoying the time, but I loved the comment or the reasoning for kind of how much it means to him and the fact that, what this defense is doing, in particular, being from the area with the Eagles. So here's Fangio.
I think you guys know I grew up a Philadelphia big-time sports fan, so that was a big part of my motivation to come back here. And we tried to do it a couple other times throughout the years, but it never timed out right. And, it brings back a little satisfaction.
Of course it does. And it probably brings a little bit of satisfaction, I would say, for the Miami players that were making the comments of, couldn't stand him, kick rocks. How they are a little bit wrong, just a tad. And how this team has really embraced it. So we will say that. Let's see. There was actually a comment earlier I was going to mention. Yes, Tyler, we know exactly what play he's talking about in terms of Jalen Carter and the hold. I mean, yeah, Jalen Carter does not get thrown around or spun around unless there's a hold on him. And there's, in particular, one of those plays that absolutely. But, I mean, if you go back and watch, I was going through the All-22 film. I mean, there had to have been 5-10 plays at least. I mean, maybe that's low number. Maybe it's more than that. But at least that many plays where Jalen Carter was held. And 5, I mean, I know that Fangio's like, oh, yeah, one in particular, egregious, thrown to the ground. Yeah, that was the automatic. But to me, I would say there was like 5 egregious holds that did not get called. And the crazy part was, because we were talking about this before the game, Baltimore is the most penalized team, or was, I don't know if they are anymore, but were the most penalized team for holding calls in the NFL. And we could not seem to, for the life of us, get a single holding call on what was clear and obvious from, you look at the pictures, you look at the videos. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and like whine or complain about it. We won, whatever. JC plays through the contact, plays through the holding. But it's just like, you see some of those things and you go, all right, it's multiple games now where Jalen Carter's not really getting the benefit of the doubt on those. I don't necessarily know why that is. And then for Vic Fangio to kind of agree with that of sorts, a little bit, kind of tells you all that you need to know. Anyway, Pat says they really need to, even if it only brings attention to it. That's fair. CMV, thanks for that. Says, hey, Josh, sorry I'm late. Love the show. Love the stash. Loving the Eagles. Thank you. Xander here. He needs to get at least one call, Josh. Maybe one. We can just start with one. Move on beyond that. One would be great. It would be nice. I kept saying to myself during the game, I'm like, or I kept saying it to Thomas whenever we were streaming, I was like, you know what? It feels like right now we get a little hold, back them up, but it never happened. At least they got some sacks to make it a little more difficult. We'll say that. Carlos says, yep, hate to complain, but refs make it hard to believe they're not trying to rig a game. What, Chiefs fans are probably the opposite of that, aren't they? Like, what all has gone right It's like the reverse. What could go wrong will go wrong. For Chiefs, it's what could go right will go right. You gotta question. You gotta wonder sometimes. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, last bit of info here, or kind of last bit. I'll open it up as well for like Q&A and comments before I hop off. But wanted to, as always, like I said, Tuesday night hangout. Have a blast here. The giveaway, as I mentioned too, officially will be Sunday during the game stream. So feel free to swing by. You don't have to be present to win, of course, but that's whenever the Jalyx Hunt signed jersey will take place. And then at 90K subs is going to be one of the signed helmets. There's the Jalen Hurts signed Kelly Green helmet. And this one over here is actually a custom-made Philly Special helmet. So that one's not being given away. I don't know if anybody would really care for it, but it's not going to because I need to have something there. The shelves were bare, and every single time that I give something away, I'm like, yeah, it looks odd now. I feel like I got used to the helmets. But then I've also got the Saquon Barkley Midnight Green signed one. So once it gets to 90K, whoever wins, you can choose. If you want the Jalen Hurts one, cool. If you want the Saquon Barkley one, then you can have that one. JC says best way to contact you in regards to sponsoring a stream video. Oh, heck yeah. Maybe just email. I'm awful at other social media to do that. So Joseph, how do you enter in? I'm typing my email, by the way. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. So now I'm getting this out there. But yeah, JC, if you're curious of that, just hit me up. The Philly Special Show at gmail.com. And yeah, that's probably the best way. Sham, no worries. The Birds got a fullback, Khari Blasingame. I think some people had already mentioned that. Joseph, for the giveaway, though, the Hunt jersey, the Big Pimpin' signed jersey, all you got to do is go type in Big Pimpin' in the past video. So if you did that, you're covered. You're good to go. If not, then go back to the Jalyx Hunt interview video and make sure to enter. Obviously, of course, that's being subbed to the channel as well, but you guys are the OGs, so I know you're already subbed. Good to go. Let's see. Tyler, if we aren't being biased, who is the front runner for defensive player? Oh, not rookie. Defensive player of the year. Because honestly, I have no clue who it could be. That's a good question. I would have to take a look, quite honestly. I mean, biased, I would say Zack Baun is having the type of season that, I mean, it's crazy. There was a comparison. I don't know if I could find the graphic, but I saw it on Twitter. But I'm sure that a lot of you guys have the comparison of I believe it was Luke Kuechly's, one of his best or better seasons compared to Zack Baun, where he's at right now, and it's like, I mean, my gosh, he's doing things that are insane. So, I don't know. Who would be... See, I knew that Zack Baun. Maxwell says that. Is that a... I feel like you could say it's an unbiased. Let's see, yo boy, how do you put emojis on the computer? There's custom emojis. Maxwell, the Saquon helmet is 90K. 90,000 subs. 100,000 subs, I'm probably going to give away playoff tickets. Either that or there's a really, really cool Eagles collab. That's all that I can say at this moment, but let's just say it's pretty... There's not been anything like it before on this channel. I don't know if anybody has. But yeah, with the Eagles... And you're not going to want to miss that. So that'll be the 100,000, obviously, because it's the big one. But yeah, Saquon, 90,000. Got to get to the subs. Young Bo, got to keep the stash till after the draft so that luck spreads to our picks. Okay, if we win the Super Bowl, that's fair. I'll keep it because we need it for free agency. We need it for the draft. At some point, it's probably... got to get shape. Maybe I can convince my wife to keep it or be okay with it for for the draft. We'll see. Let's see. Is there anybody else here? Oh, yeah. Pat saying, having Kuechly type numbers almost Urlacher without the fumbles or the forced fumbles. Tyler Baun should be all pro. I don't know if he'll get the push for Defensive Player of the Year. That's what I'm afraid of. There's only one Eagles player, I believe, in terms of the top vote getter for the Pro Bowl. And it's just a Pro Bowl. I get it. But still, sometimes these are popularity contests. So, got to keep spreading it. The national spotlight and Zack Baun playing well in those types of games is definitely helping. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would take. He's right up there at the level. Yeah, Maxwell, Zack Baun, Defensive Player of the Year, Saquon MVP, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. We would all sign up for that. Devonta, we need Jalen Hurts on the show. We'll see. Can neither confirm nor deny. John M. says, bro, the wife needs to co-sign that one as far as the mustache. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously have to get her approval, of course, but, as I would. As I definitely would. All right. I'm not sure what's going on with some of the other comments as far as this other topic. I can't tell what started that, but there's something else that I have no clue what's going on. So, let's see. As far as I'll just wrap it up with this. As far as the NFC being up for grabs, it's a big game Thursday night. Quite honestly, Howard Robinson says got to get through Detroit. Lee just coming in. What's the new move? Eagles got a fullback. I'll say it one more time. Got a fullback. It is Khari Blasingame. The 687 offensive snaps, 860 special team snaps, officially to the practice squad, but because the elevations could play 3 different games. Young Poe saying, me too, Josh. Yeah, I was like, what on earth is going on? As far as Detroit, though, I'm curious to poll the audience here. Was potentially looking at, do you feel like Green Bay can win? Well, maybe I shouldn't say can win. They can win. Do you feel like Green Bay will win this Thursday night? Big game. Really big game. You should be Packers fans. If you're not, definitely do. What's the official spread? I was going to check. Oh, Detroit -3. That's pretty close. In Detroit -3, 51.5 total. This is a game that, man, if the Packers could beat Detroit, oh yeah. We already know that the Lions have a more difficult schedule, but we got to take care of our business. As long as Philly does that, then there's a great opportunity. But man, this one Thursday night, like I say, there's some of them are Thursday night football matchups. Some of them are not great, and then others really good. This week is certainly that. So Howard's saying I think it comes down to Detroit and Philly, no matter the records. I do too. I think the question is who's home field advantage. I think that's the biggest question, biggest decision. Let's see. Xander's in Detroit. I got to take the Lions, but we need a Packers win. That's fair. It's -3 though. They're basically saying that these teams are even on a neutral playing field, which is interesting to me. Maxwell, you should get graphics showing who we signed when this happens so you got to repeat yourself. That's a good point. I can actually do that. I just didn't get it prepared for the stream, but that's a good point. I could just put it maybe right here on, right here and have the tweet. I do need to do that. That's a good point. I will probably have that next time because it keeps on happening. Jonathan says Green Bay has a really good chance with the Lions banged up D. That's fair. John M., kind of the same thing. Pat Ryan, McKinney going to ball hawk Jared. Yeah, anytime INT, you might take those. Lewis, Green Bay's pulling off the upset Thursday night. Elias, that 1 seed is going to be sick. Paul, Green Bay will beat Detroit 100. I hate the Packers. And I hate the Packers. Okay. Well, I got some family that are Packers fans, obviously, so we'll see. Yeah, a banner would be good too. I could maybe look into that. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys. Some of the chat went off on a tangent here. I'm not sure exactly what's happened on some of it, but appreciate everyone. So, be a Packers fan Thursday night. More videos to come. Stay tuned for those. Appreciate you guys for the support. Also, like I said, if you've not already, scan the QR code. Help Jalyx Hunt be able to share with Philly high school basketball teams. And, again, appreciate him for coming on. And also, if you missed it, feel free to go back to the past video where the interview took place, because Jalyx Hunt is a real one. Y'all are fine. It just distracted me because I'm like looking over there at the chat. So all good. You guys have a great night. Till next time, you know what it is. Go Birds.